Mr. Lamb has a large heart and he doesn't discriminate between those people who come to his garden, whether you are having an ugly face or a charming one, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are old or young, everyone is welcome, and he makes all the things that he has available for people visiting his garden. And that's why he doesn't bother about who comes and who doesn't come because of some other's presence here, but everybody is welcome from his end. So then Mr. Lamb tells Derry how to face, how to overcome the difficulties that you face in life. One very nice example he brings here. He says, when I go down the street, the kids shout, "Lemmy Lamb," but they still come into the garden, into my house. It's a game. They are not afraid of me. Why should they be? Because I am not afraid of them. That's why not. Teasing is one difficulty that many people face. People give you a nickname and they start calling you, and then if you become angry, then that is the beginning of your ruin. It often happens. Once we had a security guard also who was given a nickname, and then he was so reactive to it that ultimately he had to leave the place. Don't react. Let people say whatever they like. That is their freedom. Your freedom is to ignore that. Mr. Lamb tells Derry that when people comment on you, when they make unkind remarks on you, when they deal with you in a very inhuman way, what to do? Mr. Lamb says, when I go down the street, the kids shout, "Lemmy Lamb," because Mr. Lamb is not having his natural leg and he is lame, he cannot walk properly, so he is lame. And then small children, when they see him on the street, they tease him, they shout, they say, "Lemmy Lamb, Lemmy Lamb." This is how they tease. But what does Mr. Lamb do? Mr. Lamb says that earlier he said, "It fits me, it is quite right, it is quite true. I am lame, so they call me Lemmy Lame. I am not bothered about it." Now he says, they still come into the garden, into my house. It's a game. The very children who tease me when they meet me outside, these very children come into my garden, they come into my house, and this is just a game. He gives them apple, he gives them toffee. But what is this then? Here they come and they are received very warmly. They get coffee and fruits. But when they meet him outside, they tease him. Mr. Lamb says, "This is a game. They are not afraid of me. If they were really afraid of me, they would not have come. They are not afraid of me. Why are they not afraid of me? They are not afraid of me. Why should they be?" He says, "Because I am not afraid of them, that's why not. Firstly, I am not afraid of them, that's why they are not afraid of them." Mr. Lamb tells that you should first of all take the challenge, take the initiative to face these situations. When you find people are afraid of you, first of all, you face them. Don't behave like them. Don't be like them. You first face them, be friendly with them, talk to them, be close to them. Don't escape from them. Don't find a hiding place to live your life all alone. Then you will find they will also get the thing quite natural, quite normal. Then then Derry asks him, "Did you get your leg blown off in the war?" Derry finds Mr. Lamb's logic, it cannot be refuted. It is really, there is no choice but to accept it. So he is also now changing the topic. He asks, "Did you get your leg blown off in the war?" Mr. Lamb says, "Certainly." Derry says, "How will you climb on the ladder and get the crab apples down then? Your original leg is gone. You are having a tin leg. It is artificial. In spite of that, how do you climb on a ladder and get the crab apples? That is a big question." And that is what we people who always have negativity in our mind, we only see problems and we don't go for solutions. For these people, here is the question. Derry is asking, yes, your leg, original one is gone. You are having an artificial leg, and still you say you climb the ladder and you pick up apples. How is it possible? See what Mr. Lamb is saying. He says, "Oh, there is a lot of things I have learned to do. Very important. I have learned to do. If you learn things to do, if you want to do things, all your deformities, all your difficulties, all the problems you can overcome. It is all, if you are determined, if you want to win, then you can become a winner. There is a lot of things I have learned to do and plenty of time for it. I also have time for doing it, and I am trying, I am learning. If you make learning the mission of your life, and if you utilize your time, then things are very easy. Yeah, years, I have years at my hand, many days, months and years I have. I take it steady. I go very slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. There is a saying. I don't hurry. I slowly and steadily work on them. In spite of having this thin leg, how I can be able to climb on the ladder and do all these difficult things. He says, I try it slowly and steadily. I try to learn and I take time, and that is how I can do it. There he says, if you fell and broke your neck, you could lie on the grass and die if you were on your own. See, he's still having negativity, and those of us, I have just told, those of us who only see difficulties and problems and we don't go for solution, we only see problems only. That is what happened to Derry. He is still putting a question, there is a problem. He says, yes, you are all alone, you take the risk of climbing on a ladder and picking the apples, but there is every chance. There is this may happen that you will fall from the ladder and you will break your neck, and then you could lie on the grass all alone. You will die. There is no one who will know that you are here lying, and you will die unknown. That is a risk. The genuine question it is. But see how Mr. Lamb is answering. He says, I could, simple thing, yes, I know that I could fall, I could die unknown. That may happen. But I have to live life. If I concentrate on this only, that I'm all alone, I'll fall, I'll die, no one will know me, then I will not be able to do anything. Whatever will happen, will happen. We have got earlier also, there was a man who was afraid of everything, and then he put himself in a house and locked the room, but he thought it's a safe place, but a heavy picture fell on him, he died. So you have to take the risk, because even the place that you think is safe may not be safe, and the place which you think is very risky may not be that risky also. So he says that I could, yes, this may happen, but because of this possibility, I should not stop myself from working. I should not stop myself from learning. I should not stop myself from facing the challenges. Then there he found, yes, again Mr. Lamb has spoken in a very, very bold and very judicious way. So he has no answer, he has no reply. He is now asking him, you said I could help you. Yes, you earlier said that you will pick up the apples, you will make jelly, and I could help you. Mr. Lamb says, if you want it, it is your choice, I don't force anybody. If you want it. Mr. Lamb wants to give enough freedom to people to think, to act, to work, and to learn. So he is saying, if you want to. There he says, but my mother will want to know where I am. It's 3 miles home, across the fields. I am 14, but they still want to know where I am. There he is giving another excuse that you told me that I could help you, and I am also ready to help you, but the problem is that my mother at home, she will be waiting for me, and she wants to know where I am. And see, my house is 3 miles away from here, across the fields, 3 miles away. And then he has a grievance. He said, I am 14, I am now not that small a child, but still, my mother, she wants that wherever I go, she should know. That is not the right thing, because I am growing, I am not a small kid, I should have this much of freedom. But still, she insists on that. And since she will be waiting, she will be worried about me, how can I help you? This is a question. Again, Mr. Lamb is giving answer to it. He is saying, natural, people worry. That is quite natural for people. Your mother, you will have son, she will worry for you. There is a people fuss. F-U-S-S, fuss means to think or to concentrate on unwanted, unnecessary things. Fuss, it means to think or talk on unnecessary things. When Mr. Lamb says people worry, that is natural. Mr. Lamb says, when Mr. Lamb says people worry, it is natural. There he says there are people who fuss also, who worry about the things about which they should not worry. Mr. Lamb gives a solution. He says, go back and tell them, you go home and tell your mother that you are enjoying your time here. That's fine. That's a very simple solution. There he says, it's 3 miles. The way you also often have excuses that I could not get this, and my home is like that, I do not have this kind of thing, I do not have that kind of thing, I could not study well, I could not purchase books, I could not get tuition, my father did not spend money on me, he did not buy me a smartphone. Many issues you have, but see, this boy also is having a question. It's 3 miles, you are saying me to go and tell my mother, it's a matter of 3 miles. What is the solution given by Mr. Lamb? He says, it's a fine evening. You have got legs. What is the difficulty? You have got legs for walking. And it's a fine evening, very charming day. Go and walk and tell your mother, then come back. There is an excuse. Once I got home, they would never let me come back. If I go home and I tell my mother that I am here, she will not allow me to come back. Mr. Lamb said, once you go home, you would never let yourself come back. You are blaming your mother that once you go home, she will not allow you to come back. But the fact is that if you go home, you will not allow yourself to come back. Don't blame other people. Don't give such excuse. If you are determined, if you want it, you can come. It is all up to you. Derry then has actually, after staying with Mr. Lamb for a long time and after getting all this motivation and all these positive things in his mind, Derry has got a lot of change in him. If you got the boy who came and at the beginning he was afraid, he wanted to escape. Many times he said, I have to go. But now you see, he is so confident that he is giving a challenge to Mr. Lamb. When Mr. Lamb says, once you got home, you would never let yourself come back. There he says, you don't know what I could do. Don't underestimate me. Don't underestimate the power of ordinary man, no? Don't think like this. You don't know what I could do. You think I am that ordinary that I'll go home and then I'll be influenced by what my mother will say and I'll lose my confidence, I'll not come back. You don't know what I can do. Mr. Lamb has got the right time now, and he is now telling him, no, only you know that. Yes, it is you. It is called self-awareness. You know very well what you are. You know very well what you can do. How can I know it? By saying this, he is actually boosting his morale. He is giving him confidence. Only you know that. Then he says, if I chose, it means if I wanted to do things. All these words he is speaking just because of his meeting with Mr. Lamb. He was not like that only. Now after talking to Mr. Lamb, he has got a lot of courage and confidence, and that is why he is able to speak like that. If I chose, Mr. Lamb says, if you chose, I don't know anything, everything, or I can't tell you what to do. If you chose, that is the only thing in life. If you want it. If you chose to be happy, you can be happy. If you want a thing to be done, you can do it. In most of the cases, people cannot do things because they don't want it. They just give excuses. They just find difficulty. They just see only problems. They don't go for solution. If you want to do a thing, all those difficulties will escape. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam rightly said, difficulties in your life do not come to destroy you. They come to make you realize your hidden potential and power. And then lastly, he says very nicely, let difficulties know that you too are difficult. And this is what Mr. Lamb is telling him, that if you chose to do a thing, then I can't say anything. You can do everything. I don't know. There is unlimited chances. Then again, his old thought came to his mind, because for all these 14 years of his life, he has met only negativity and people behaving in a very unkind way, in a very illogical, in a very unwanted way. And for the first time, he has got a man, and he is now speaking positively, of course, but still, old thoughts are coming to his mind again and again. And the best thing is that he is telling everything to Mr. Lamb, and Mr. Lamb is getting an opportunity to clear his mind, to respond in a way that he is benefited. Derry is saying, they tell me, they means people tell me. Then he could not continue. Mr. Lamb said, do you have to agree? Whatever people tell you, I don't bother. But the question is, do you have to agree what they say? Derry says, I don't know what I want. I want something no one else has got or ever will have. Something just mine, like this garden. I don't know what it is. Derry says that I'm really very happy and I just want a garden like this, and I don't know exactly what it is, but it is something like this, something unique, something that will be only mine. Mr. Lamb said, you could find it out. If you want a thing, you can find it out. How? Mr. Lamb says, waiting, watching, listening, sitting here or going there. I'll have to see to the bees. Mr. Lamb now finds the time is appropriate. The boy is really convinced. So he is telling him that if you can achieve your goal, if you want a thing, you can achieve it by waiting. There should be patience. You should not be you should not lose your heart that I tried but I could not get it. No, don't lose your heart. You have to have patience, waiting, watching. He earlier said also watching, listening, sitting here or going there. It means movement. You have to move. You have to work. And then Mr. Lamb to test how much there is convinced, how much his mind is changed. Mr. Lamb is earlier he showed interest, and now he is showing that I have some other things to go do. As he says, I'll have to see to the bees. My bees are there. I have to attend them. There he says, those other people who come here, do they talk to you, ask you things the way I am asking? Other people who come there here, do they also talk to you like this? Do they ask you things, ask you questions the way I am asking? Mr. Lamb says, some do, some don't. I ask them, I like to learn. Some people ask, some people don't ask, but it doesn't bother. I ask them questions because I want to learn. See, at an old age also, although we have found that this man is lecturing before Derry, but he says that I also want to learn. That's why I ask questions, even if other people don't ask. Learning is a lifelong process. It never ends. Even if you are old, you still may learn. You may learn from someone who is younger to you in age. So this is what he is saying. Then he says, I don't believe in them. I don't think anybody ever comes. You are here all by yourself and miserable, and no one would know if you were alive or dead, and nobody cares. Now Derry has got some more courage, and he is now trying to make fun with Mr. Lamb. He is saying that I don't believe all these things, that many people come and they talk and they ask questions, or you also ask questions. I don't believe in them. I think you live all alone and you are living a miserable life, and even if whether you are dead or alive, no one bothers, no one knows. He actually has got a company here, got an opportunity where friendliness is practiced enough. He has got enough courage to speak, and by asking these questions, he is also trying to extract answers from Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb, see how he is reacting. He is not that arrogant, and he is, because of his intelligence and experience, he speaks in a very appropriate way. And he is saying, if you think like this, Mr. Lamb says, you think what you please. Yes, this is your choice. You think like this. You think I am not telling the truth. You think nobody comes here. You think no one cares whether I am alive or dead. It is your choice. You think like this. I cannot control your thought. Alright then, tell me some of their names. If you are claiming that you have friends, hundreds of friends, tell me the names of some of your friends. Mr. Lamb says, what are names? Tom, Dick or Harry? Tom, Dick, Harry, this is the way you say in your language, Ram, Sham, Jadu, Madhu, in this way. Tom, Dick and Harry. Yeah, there are names. What the name is not that significant. There are friends. Tom, Dick and Harry, you can think. Then he gets up. He finds that this boy has got a lot of courage, and he is now challenging me and making fun of me. It is time. He has got enough confidence. So let me test him, and let me not make myself available to him this much. Let me see how much he is eager, how much he will be behind me to know more things. So he is getting up, and while getting up, he says, I am off down to the bees. I am going to meet my bees. Derry is speaking in a more challenging way. He says, I think you are daft. Crazy. The word daft we got earlier. Daft is someone who does not have intelligence. He is idiotic. He is not having any intelligence. The very boy whom the man has taught. This is how sometimes it happens that you teach someone things and then he starts shouting in front of you. This boy, this Derry, he has got enough courage that he is now saying that I think you are daft, crazy. Mr. Lamb says, that's a good excuse. What for? You don't talk sense. Why do you say excuse? What is the excuse here? What you are saying that makes no sense. Mr. Lamb says, it is a good excuse not to come back. You don't want to come back. You are giving excuse. Your mother will not allow you. But it is your excuse. You are calling me daft and crazy. This is an excuse not to come. Good excuse not to come back, and you have got a burned face, and that is other people's excuse. Other people, their excuse is that you have a burned face. They don't want to be near you, don't want to mix with you. You have got a new excuse that I am daft, so you don't want to come back to me. That's it. Derry says, you are like the others. You like to say things like that. If you don't feel sorry for my face, you are frightened of it. And if you are not frightened, you think I am ugly as a devil. I am a devil, don't you? He shouts. See the amount of knowledge and confidence he has got. He is shouting in front of Mr. Lamb, and why he is shouting like this? Possibly he has got enough courage for the first time in his life, and then he has found this man will not be arrogant. He will not be violent on him. He has got this idea, so he has got enough freedom to speak with this much of courage, he is shouting at Mr. Lamb. Mr. Lamb does not reply. See, this is an intelligent thing. If you find that someone is shouting at you who should not shout at you, he has not done in this way ever with you, but he is showing this. You should not be like him. You should not react in the same way. Be cool. You know your value. You know your worth. If you start shouting like him, it will be equal. So although there is shouting, but Mr. Lamb is responding in a very normal way. He is saying, he firstly does not reply. Any other person is in place of Mr. Lamb would have caught him and beaten him like this. It is I who have taught you all these things. This is how they will say. But he has gone to his bees. He just went to attend to his bees. Derry now quietly, in a very quiet voice, he said, no, you don't. I like it here. This is the fact actually. All these are games. Now he is telling himself in a quiet way, no, you don't. You are not crazy. You don't do like other people do. You don't speak like other people speak. I like it here. Then he pauses. Then he gets up and shouts, I am going, but I will come back. You see, you wait. I can run. I haven't got a teen leg. I will be back. He is teaching Mr. Lamb. You cannot move like me. I can move. I am running. I am not like you. See the amount of confidence he has got. The very man who taught him lessons of life, who taught him lessons in confidence, he is now speaking in such a very, whatever you call it, maybe a jolly way. He is saying, I don't have a teen leg. I can move. You see, I am going, but I will come back. Then he runs off. Silence is there. The sounds of the garden again. So Derry has gone. Their long talk is ended, and the normal sound of the garden, the birds singing, and the tree leaves rustling, that is heard again. Mr. Lamb is talking to himself. In drama, when you study this drama in your degree classes, you will find one very important word, that is called soliloquy. What is this soliloquy? Spelling, I am maybe wrong with the spelling. You can check it. Soliloquy means when you talk to yourself. That is called soliloquy. And there is one thing called monologue, dramatic monologue. When you are talking and there is a listener, but the listener does not respond, that is called monologue. Here, an example of soliloquy. Mr. Lamb is practicing a soliloquy. He is talking to himself. He is saying, "They are my dears." He is talking to his bees. He is telling them, "They are my dears. Hello, my dear friends. That's you seen. Have you seen how this boy behaved with me? You know, we all know. I will come back." They never go. They never do though. Not them. Never do come back. This is how he says. Whoever comes, they say they will come again, but they don't come again. But that is the fact. You all know this thing. With this, the first scene ends. And in the first scene, we have seen there is an uninterrupted long talk between Mr. Lamb and Derry, and Mr. Lamb has transmitted a lot of courage and energy and good thoughts and positivity in the mind of Derry, who even got enough courage to shout at him. So Derry has left, and because his mother is waiting, and he has promised Mr. Lamb, he has even challenged him that I will come back, don't think I will not come. And Mr. Lamb's view is that people come and they say like this, but they never come back. Let us see whether he comes or not, what happens. This we will see in the next scene. Thank you very much.